Hey guys, welcome to the Income Driver YouTube channel. Mike here. Today we're going to learn cPanel. For those of you, if you're not familiar with this, cPanel is one of the most popular control panel systems, if not the most popular control panel systems. If you're using any type of web hosting, chances are that you're going to be using cPanel. So today I'm just going to run through some of the basic stuff that you need to learn how to use. Like how you're using your file server, creating database, things like that. For the most part, this is very intuitive, very easy to learn. There's nothing technical or complicated about it. So anyway, let's get started. So the first thing we'll learn here is File Manager. Okay, so this is used to upload your website files, and you can, as I clicked on that, so here usually all of your files are in this public folder here called public HTML. So any new site that you're adding to your account would go into this folder here, the public HTML. And the cool thing about the file manager under cPanel is that you can do basically everything. You can upload, you can delete, you can change. So for example, let me give you an example here. So if I go in the public HTML, let me go to this folder here, and I go, if I wanted to delete this file, I just right click on it and I can do a bunch of stuff here. You see, download, view, edit, rename, change permissions. So this is something that you may have to do if you're installing a new website or a new script and you have to change the permission of the file. And so all of the above, you can do all of these things here in cPanel. To upload, simply click upload, and then you can upload a file or a folder. Okay, so that's that. Now if I go back to the home of cPanel here, images, you don't really need. Directory privacy, not necessary. Disk usage is just to check how many, which is all of that is right here. So sorry. So this would help you check how much space you have in your hard drive for the server. So you wouldn't really need that. Now FTP accounts. So for example, if you were to use an FTP client, like I have CyberDuck here on my local computer. So this is another way that you can upload files onto your server using a client. And with that, this is where you can create, you use this link, you go to FTP accounts, that you can create a user for a new FTP account, and that way they can use applications like CyberDuck or FileZilla or any other third-party applications out there to be able to get into the files on the server. Okay, so let's go back. Now, FTP connections, you don't really use anonymous, you don't use. Now, databases. This one is important. So, for example, if you were installing, say, WordPress, which is also one of the most common scripts that's out there to create a website. I actually did a tutorial on how to create a website using WordPress. So to create a WordPress website, for example, you need these two here. All right. And usually you just follow the instructions on whatever scripts that you're installing for your site. And to create a database, you just click on the MySQL Databases. And from here, you can create your database, and then you come down here and create a user. Okay, so there are two things that you're doing when creating database. I'll put a notepad up here. So databases. To create a database, you need to first create the database, and then second, create a user for that database. Sorry, a user. I'm trying to learn how to spell here for your database. Okay, so, and once you do those two things, and then the third thing you do is that you grant your database here. You grant your, so you pick whatever database that you created, and then you grant a user to that database, and then you click on add, and that's how you grant permission for that user to handle that database. I know that sounds a little complicated, but it's that easy. It's actually easy enough. Now, for you to get access to your database or to upload a database. So first you create a database. Now you want to upload the actual file of that database. For that, you're gonna need this PHPMYADMIN, and once you click it here, a new window will open, and all of my databases in here. And I'll take one for example. Let me take this one, Grace. So this is all tables from the MySQL database for this particular website. And if I can either delete all of these tables, I can do check all, and to delete, you go to drop. That's how you delete everything, but I'm not going to do that right now. To import, if this was blank, if this was completely blank and you had a MySQL file that you wanted to upload, you just go to import and you go to browse, and then you upload whatever MySQL database that you have. To export, so assuming that I wanted to back up this particular database here, this Grace database, I would go to export. Okay, and it gives me the format that I want to export, and usually just have it on SQL, and just click on go. And with that, I can download this database as backup. All right, so this is for if you manually wanted to download a backup for your databases, that's how you would do it. All right, and again, for the most part, those three functions are what you would use all the time, which is import or export, or if you wanted to drop a table. So that's the basics of MySQL database and the PHPMYADMIN. Now, if we go further down, email accounts. So here you can create an email account for your domain name. For example, say theincomedriver.com. If I go to email accounts and I wanted to create as you can see, there's already one email account here. So to create an email account, you just go to add email account and follow the instructions from there. That's very, very simple. Okay, so that's how you create your email account. Email routing, forwarding, all of this are too technical. I'm not even going to convince you to try those, or confuse you rather. And here you can check, the usage, how much space your emails are using on the server. And metrics, these are all web metrics. So from this, you can check basically traffic stats and things like that. But I would ignore all of this, honestly. The only metric I would check is maybe my bandwidth. Once upon a time back in the day, bandwidth usage was a big deal, and so you had to check your bandwidth and make sure that you're not using way too much bandwidth. But today, a lot of things have changed, so you have more room to use more bandwidth. And bandwidth is basically how much traffic or how much processes are going on your server. So if your server is if your site, for example, is getting a lot of hits or a lot of traffic, then you'd be using a lot more bandwidth. Okay. Now again, I would ask you to just ignore all of this, because you can use Google Analytics, for example, a more sophisticated platform to keep track of your website traffic. All right. Here are more complicated stuff. SSH is, so see, the same way I was able to log in and get access to my cPanel, I can also do that through my terminal here, which on Windows is SSH also, I guess. I have a Mac, so on the Mac is terminal. But my point is, with this option, you can create the accounts for you to get access to the server from your local computer. That's what SSH is for. Let's see, anything else here. So most of the time you wouldn't use any of these. You wouldn't use any of these preferences, advanced. Cron jobs you can use if you have a script, for example. Cron jobs are for to set up automated processes on the server. So say, for example, you wanted maybe on your site you wanted to upload or add a specific data every 2 hours or every 3 hours. That's what a cron job would do. It would basically automate a process for you. But again, that's a little bit more advanced stuff. And software you don't need. So if we go all the way back to the top, most of the stuff you're going to be using is your file manager, again, which is very intuitive and simple. Right here, you go to home. Again, all of your websites are going to be in the public HTML folder, and that's where you upload anything that you need to upload. Your FTP account, if you wanted to use a third-party file client like a CyberDuck or FileZilla, you would create an FTP account you would create an FTP account to be able to do that. Okay, and databases, again, if you're installing a script, example WordPress, you need to create a database for it. And to get access to your database, you would use this link, PHPMYADMIN, to get access to that database. And then email, you can set up email accounts through here. Metrics, again, you don't need, and just about everything else you don't really use. Okay, so that's how you use cPanel in a nutshell. If you have any questions, leave in the comments below. In the future, I'll make more videos talking about more complex stuff. But for beginners, this is pretty simple. cPanel is very easy to use. Okay, so you guys let me know. Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoy the video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. And also, I'm leaving my mailing list, link to my mailing list below. Be sure to subscribe to that. That way you get access to all of the free guides and tutorials that I make even before I post them here on YouTube. Okay, so you guys take care, and I will catch you on the next video.